Hey everybody, it's Shanda. I'm excited to be here. Hey, I want to talk to you about what cross sales are inside your business. So first and foremost, it's a great way to serve your clients, but it's also a great way for you to make a lot more money in your business. So as you're jumping on and you're saying hi to me this morning, I just want to let you know that I do this typically on Fridays at 6 a.m., but we're actually making more space in my calendar to be able to spend with you most days of the week, if not Monday through Friday. We're working on that right now, where I will do a 6 a.m. coffee with you. So I am literally just up. Look at me. So literally, I am like hair not done. I don't expect you to have your hair done, and drinking my tea this morning in my hardcore cup. And really, this is just a casual conversation where, first of all, you can tell me what it is that you want me to talk about in the future. Because if I'm going to do these every morning at 6 a.m., can't say I'll do them forever, but maybe I do them for a few months, or maybe I do them for a year. Who knows? It's going to really depend on how popular they get based on how much of a difference I'm making. So let me share something with you. One of the things that we do, and I would suggest you do inside your business, is good morning, you guys. Good morning, Megs. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I love that. Do some hearts and some hearts and some thumbs up to give me some energy this morning. Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Okay, great. Oh, it's 2 p.m. here in the UK. Okay, maybe we need to do one, Catherine, at like some crazy ungodly hour to make it 6 a.m. your time one of these times. um, Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So I have a little bit of a cold. We spent last Friday in ER with my son, and we all got sick after that. But anyway, that's not what's important. I'm excited to be here with you. Okay, so let's talk about cross sales and why I want to talk to you about them. So first and foremost, I do have an event coming up in September, the Zone event, and I will talk deep into these type of conversations because they're important. But here's why this inspired me. I have a group of clients called Marketing Mastery, and what I'm noticing is that they've all grown email lists, and they're all selling to their email lists, and they're all heart-centered, really good people trying to make a difference. So first they're trying to just survive, and then they pass survival, and then their heart kicks in, and the reason why they became an entrepreneur in the first place, and they really want to make a big difference in the world. And a piece that I'm noticing that they need more support on, and possibly you need to just even think about, is that cross sales. So let me tell you what a cross sale is. So first and foremost, you have your customer acquisition, where if you're building an email list or if you're doing Facebook ads, there's a cost to be able to acquire a customer or a client inside your business. But however, when somebody becomes a customer or client, you can actually, know more about them. You can actually see, like I can see what my clients need more of just by spending time with them or coaching with them or their masterminds. It becomes plain of day, like what their attitudes are like, what their mentalities are like, what their businesses look like. And I can create something called cross sales. So for instance, I have a group called Hardcore Endurance. It's a cross sale to my clients. So we might make an extra $500,000 a year serving our clients, but we don't really push that product out in the world for customer acquisition somewhere else. What I mean by that, or at least we don't at this moment, what I mean by that is I saw a need inside my clients in their mental bandwidth. Like, let's be honest, everybody gets taught pretty much the same thing around me. I mean, especially in our Pace Club level programs or List Power programs, they're getting taught the exact same strategy. How come some people rock it and some people don't? Trust me, it's not because the product doesn't work for them, it's that they don't work the product. And even if they're working their ass off, the challenge is their mindset, the way that they think. Why do some people be able to execute a formula? And like, for instance, I teach list building in my Pace Club or my List Power program. I teach them how to do an interview series, which means that they have to get influencers to actually promote them and endorse them. And for a lot of people, that's crazy. Like, why would an influencer ever endorse me, especially if you're not super successful? And so, but there's some clients that just grab onto that and they rock it and they do it no matter how they feel. And then there's other clients who are like, this is hard, I can't find any influencers to support me. And it's not because the formula doesn't work. It's not because the topic doesn't work. It's actually because of the way that they think. So there was an opportunity for a cross sale there, which means if I could get my clients to be more mentally strong, if I could get them to stop worrying, if I could get them to stop complaining, and you know I mean this with so much love, right? But if you complain about hard, you're really challenging to coach, right? Like it's a slower evolution than if you're like, what the F, I'm just going to do it anyway and just have a good attitude about it. Then those people skyrocket so much quicker. So I thought, okay, here's an opportunity for a cross sale, and it's based on service. So remember this. What I never want to do is teach business from an aspect of getting. Yes, you get. I mean, you just do, right? The best getting is the person who is the biggest giver. And I think that business is highly unselfish. And it's because you have to get out of your own way to give more. So even like when I saw the cross sale for my clients, where if I was willing to give more, open up another program, find a trainer to train that, find coaches to coach that, get, legal documents created for it. If I was willing to open up a cross sale, which would help them more, what would be the possibilities for my clients? So I want you to think inside your business. And my nose is plugged. I want you to think inside your business, and I want you to think like, okay, maybe, I don't know where you're at in your business, and go ahead and you could post. You could say, are you just beginning? Have you been in business for a while? Do you have clients or customers? Just go ahead and just post on the thread really quickly, because that also helps inform me on where to go with sharing with you, because I didn't jump on this Facebook Live at 6 a.m. to not make a difference. Okay, so the cross sell. So you're looking for inside your business, when you work with clients, what's the thing that they need more of? So for instance, I have a love coach that I just did a VIP day with yesterday, and she was saying, Shanda, I feel like I want all my clients to have their man at the end of her program. She goes, but the truth is that they don't all have their man. And I said, yeah, that's normal. I mean, it just is normal, because some people will completely, with all of their mental bandwidth, surrender to the formula and they'll rock it. Like when I wanted to find Ash, and I had 3 other girlfriends who wanted to find their husbands, we surrendered to the process because it was a priority to us. We were both getting to the age where it was time to have babies, right? And so within 90 days, actually within 60 days, really, all 3 of us women found our men. But we looked our entire lifetime for our men, right? Why did the formula work for us then? Well, I'll tell you. And then I have one friend who didn't hire the relationship coach, and she just did it through osmosis through us. Like basically she took the regurgitated teachings and she applied it in her life, and she did find a guy she moved in with, but that didn't work. It wasn't her right man for obvious reasons. She didn't get the complete coaching from the coach to be able to actually get the full experience of the relation, or the full experience of the end result. My point is that one person had the mindset that she didn't want to invest, and so she just learned through us, through free products, free information, and then the 3 of us were like, we're not missing our window to have a beautiful family. We need to make business second priority and put love first priority. So my client who teaches love, she was like, I feel like there's an opportunity for a cross sale because I want all my clients to fall in love. But the thing is that they're crazy. And she meant that in a nice way, right? Like I was crazy too at one point. Like if a guy didn't text message me back, I would be like looking at my phone like, why doesn't he text me? I know, isn't it crazy? It's so crazy that us women do these things. And so do you men, I just know you do. So the opportunity that we were looking at is what would be the cross sale. And she's like, I think many of them should do, some spiritual work, and she does a lot of inner work, but she's like, maybe like Reiki. And she had for her as a coach, she had all these ideas about what she could be doing to be able to help them succeed. Now here's a question that often comes up for entrepreneurs. Like, what if, so for instance, I often will call my friends and I'll ask them, will they help me serve? Oh, look at you guys. You're all wide awake. I love all of this love. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Megs, there's a lot of relationship coaches that I know. Nicole Moore is fantastic. Cherry Norris is fantastic. There's a lot of them that are really good that I know get really great successes. Nicole Moore is Love Works is the name of her company. Anyway, um, so so here's what happens a lot of times. Sometimes you don't have the cross sale, and this is an opportunity for you to leverage, right? So sometimes your cross sale is not something in your wheelhouse that you are good at. Don't be afraid to bring in a strategic partner to help serve your clients or your customers. So first and foremost, if you love the idea of being an entrepreneur and having more of your time and you want more leverage, you can always bring in a really high quality person to be able to do the cross sale with. So for instance, right now, I have this crazy thing that I'm doing with Jesse Itzler, and he wrote the book Living with a Navy SEAL. And first and foremost, I'm not kidding you, I just saw the benefit of that man coaching me. I mean, he's a billionaire, he's super cool, he's super honest, he's authentic, he's built, a couple businesses into the $1 billion mark, sold them. He's just incredibly smart, but super down to earth. I'm just not really into the mentors that are wearing, 500 pounds of makeup and, stiletto heels and pretend like they look like that all the time. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just more into wholesome, down to earth, real, that type of mentality. And so that's Jesse. So I was propositioning him to coach me. And he's like, I don't even know what I would charge you. They're trying to figure out, him and his wife are trying to figure out how do they actually give more? How do they donate more of their money to make a big difference in the world? Because at some point, it really doesn't become about any money anymore, especially if you have more than you can spend. So the opportunity for the cross sale in that moment was, wow, like, what if I could get Jesse to coach my clients? Here's what I could tell you. Obviously, I knew that was and I'm trying to get to the point that it's important that this is really authentic for you, right? But I knew that if Jesse could influence me and influence the way that I thought, that my whole life would get more urgent, more result-oriented, more connected. He has 4 kids, a wife, travels around the world speaking, but still is able to hold that core unit as a family. That's the type of life that I'm interested in, right? How do you make billions of dollars and still be able to be a real person and a real mom and a real dad? Like, that's interesting to me. That doesn't typically happen unless you get influenced by a person at that level, right? Because it's just, I shouldn't say, there are coaches. I have been coached by a coach for a long time that doesn't make as much money as I do, but it's actually on my personal development. It's on my leadership ability, and your business will never it will never succeed. It will never go past your personal development. So you should just know that if you ever have this moment that you think you've grown enough, or that you've done a lot of work and you shouldn't go further, or you don't want to invest any more time in that area, I'm going to tell you that's when you should definitely turn up the heat on that, because your business will never exceed your personal development. It's always a mirror of where your personal development is. So back to cross sales. So I approached Jesse and I asked him, would he coach my clients? So that's a completely leveraged cross sale. It's totally legit for my clients. It's an incredible experience for my clients. And please note, not all cross sales are that amazing, meaning that you don't always have a complete celebrity do something like that for you. But they are based on authentic relationships. They're also based on not worrying about you losing clients or you, it's just about the better good for the client. So here's what I want you to take away. When you're thinking about cross sales, you're looking at your clients and you're saying, what is it that they need that either I can create and give more of, and don't give more of it unless you're an expert in it, because you'll hit the wall. Meaning that nothing drives me more crazy than when I watch people rip off other people's content or things they've learned from other people and reteach it. Even if they've done well themselves on it, it's really important for you to just stay in your wheelhouse. In fact, if you look at companies like Mac Computer, Apple Computer. I know that not all of us are going to get to an Apple Computer size company, but they sell one thing really well. You know what I mean? They sell some auxiliary things, but typically a really great company sells one thing really well. However, often we're trying to sell too many things, especially because of the way we feel or we're inspired and we want to create something else. And honestly, if you want to make incredible wealth in your life and you want to make a huge impact, you got to get really good at selling one thing. However, in the essence of cross-selling, there's opportunities to get your clients to, or your customers to, the results that they want by giving them a one-stop shop. And you can often do that with strategic partners. And you go to the strategic partner and you either split the revenue or you take a percentage of the revenue or whatever that looks like, but it becomes completely leveraged, meaning that you're not the person leading it, teaching it, managing it, or any of that. So I hope that this little tidbit was just had you thinking. I'll just even run some numbers. Like, imagine if you could do a cross sell to your clients. I'm pulling open my calculator. And imagine if you could sell, and I'm just going to go low. Imagine if you could sell an extra $3,000 product or anything. You had nothing to do with it, and you could sell 50 of them in a year, right? It's $150,000. And you didn't do anything for that. And so the reason why I want to open up your mindset around that is it comes from service, it comes from supporting, it comes from helping your customers or clients get to the end result faster and better and in one-stop shop. But if you do use a strategic partner, it does give you leverage. So I'm all about your ability to be able to make way more money than you could ever spend, but not to spend your whole life working. Right? And don't get me wrong, my vacations and my family time and my business, none of them are exclusive of each other. I hate the word balance, but if you could say balanced, I'm as close to balanced as you can get. However, there are times that I work extraordinarily hard, and there are times that I vacation extraordinarily disconnected, right? Meaning that I completely disconnect. So I hope that this was supportive for you. I hope this gets you thinking. I hope it increases your bottom line and helps you serve and impact more people in a better way. And I will take some questions now. If you have a question and you want to just ask me a question about, doesn't have to be a cross sale in your business, it could be anything else, and I can answer them. So just if you're joining this Facebook Live, I just want to tell you this is Coffee with Shanda at 6 a.m. I'm like not really in my jammies anymore, but I'm in my t-shirt with my hair undone and looking like a little bit of a crazy person. But the point is for us to drink our coffee, tea, or greens together and have some fun. Okay. Oh, cool, Lisa. Thanks for the love, you guys. I love the love. Okay, questions. If you have questions, ask me some questions. I want to support. Judy, yes, strategic partner leverage, for sure. A lot of people are missing cross sales in their business. First and foremost, the easiest people to sell to are your clients, and mainly because you can actually see what it is that they need the most, and you can make that offer. And so that becomes a really beautiful, lucrative, leveraged, and impactful way for you to grow your company. Okay, Stockholm, look at you guys. There's some people from all over the place. I love it. Okay, so do you ask your clients, feed's going, hold on. Do you ask your clients what they want that they're not getting from you? So Carol, great question. Do I ask my questions what they want that they're not getting from me? I do, but I only ask a select group of them. So I take like a microcosm group of them. So for instance, we were in New York, not last year, I think it was the year before, with our Marketing Mastery clients. And I asked a handful of them that were just randomly different, meaning that like I didn't pick the group that I resonate with most, right? I picked randomly a group of people after the mastermind and I asked them to stay in the room. And I had one of my managers from my company stand there with a flip chart, and we asked them that question and we wrote down all of that information. And then we took that and we implemented some of it. We didn't implement others. However, I will tell you, I just did a very, very strategic hire into our company that her number one job is actually client satisfaction. And so I love the fact that we are at that place in my company, that it's just so important to me and the company growth to be able to make sure that our clients are just extraordinarily happy. And so we will be looking for what is it do they need more of, and this person is 100%, that's her job, is to just do that. She does it for really big training platforms, 500 million dollar companies. She's been doing it for the same company for a long, long time, and she is now moving on to our company to help us scale into a whole nother place. So with that being said, yes, we do. I mean, again, the way that you can tell what to sell is to actually survey. And a lot of companies miss this, especially when they get comfortable in their service or their whatever they actually are providing in the world to their clients. It's important to find ways to do strategic surveys that are not just random general surveys, but if there's something specific that you want to make offers around that you suspect your client base might want or your customer base might want, then it's great to throw out a survey that's really strategic around that topic and get as much information as you can around that topic. All that will do is it will actually tell you the positioning of how to make the offer for that cross sale. I hope that makes sense. Amanda, how do you set up strategic partnerships contract? So I don't deal with contracts. I do have an attorney do all of that. I negotiate the deal, which means I'm like looking at my hair sticking up all over the place. I negotiate the deals, and so I'm always looking for a win-win in the deal. So I never start with what I want. I start a conversation with a strategic partner about, tell me about what's important to you. What are you up to in the world? What are projects that you're working on that are really important to you? What I'm looking for is what's the most important thing for the strategic partner. And then all I do is I start giving. I just find ways. I mean, it's how Jesse and I ended up working together, where he's serving our clients now. I mean, how do you create a deal with, someone of that caliber? Through relationships. And the relationships don't have to take a long time, but you have to be a genuine person, in my experience, right? So if you're a genuine person and you're looking for your best interest is always for the people that you work with, then what will happen is, believe it or not, you'll always have ways to help them. And so, I even have a friend, he has a huge company. They're, well into the 8 figures, and he knows I'm having some challenge in one area of my business. And so he's having me come down in 2 weeks down to the Newport area to sit for 3 hours in his office. Well, to give you an idea, he charges $30,000 for that. And, it took a few weeks for his assistant to be able to fit me into an afternoon that works. But my point is that, he's not charging me for that. So this great strategic partnerships, they really operate from a place of, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is the only way, but generosity, right? So look for ways to support them and start from that aspect, and then don't be afraid to ask for what you want, okay? And the contract aspect, Amanda, once the deal is created and we've come up with the logistics of it, I just send that information over to our attorney, and our attorney just writes up a draft of the agreement. Okay, so Tamay, how are you? Good morning. Hi, Shanda. Okay, so last week I sent out a 3-day flash sale, great, and then yesterday a VIP day offer. Today's message was a video, I think that says welcoming them into me. Last week, last week, thought today's welcomed. So your question is have you sent out too many emails so maybe they're getting confused messaging? That could happen. I mean, that could definitely happen. Like, if I'm talking about like the zone event in September and I'm like pushing all that information, then all of a sudden I talk about, Pace Club, and, it definitely can be confused messaging, because it's what are you trying to influence people to move forward with? However, if the overall, let's say, like for me, because I teach business, if the overall messaging is around, let's say, case studies of my clients or business or strategies like that, my calls to action can change. So I would first, you may have confused them, but I would first err on the side of the fact that possibly you got a little sloppy in your messaging and it wasn't as connected. So, really make sure you're thinking about A great way to write your emails is to actually start brainstorming on a piece of paper, like all the problems that they're having and what are your storylines with some of these problems that prove that they can overcome that, and start writing your emails coming from that standpoint so that they connect deeper. Okay, so stories really do connect, but not a story from like an advice. Like, there's a difference between giving someone advice on how they should eat versus talking about how you cured yourself of cancer by eating greens. I'm just making this up, right? But the story of cancer is much more. It doesn't have to be doomsday, but like a lot of people would love to know, like, how did I find my man in 90 days, right? Where I'm like, oh, it was easy, but they're like, that doesn't sound easy to me. Can you tell me the details, right? So storylines that are authentic and good that you can talk about with some detail, they do tend to hook and connect more. And then when you make a call to action, they're much more they'll convert much better. Make sure your calls to action are not confusing as well. One of my favorites is hit reply to this email, right? Yes, your inbox gets completely full, but it's a great way to do it. Okay, is this helpful, you guys? Just let me know yes or no if this is helpful. Okay, Jody, I teach one thing. I help people know they matter, self-worth. And I do a few different things to get there, things I've done to get, things you've done to get there. Is this what you mean? You get good at one thing you teach. Yes, Jody. So make sure that, Jody, if you're teaching self-worth, so one of the ways that I got into self-worth, only because I was so driven in business, is back when I was having a hard time, really getting my life together. I knew that it had to do with my self-worth issues, right? And so, however, I was attracted to books and programs that talked about self-worth as far as creating like monetary value in your life. And when I wanted a relationship back in my, 20s or whatever, I would think about self-worth in the essence of the type of man that I attracted. So if you can tie your self-worth to a specific result, you're going to get much more traction. You're also going to get known for that person and that expert in your marketplace. So, I find that people are way too generalized. Like, our marketplace knows that I'm known for building audiences and learning how to sell to them. People want the freedom lifestyle that I have. However, that's just such a tiny, tiny piece of what I teach. It's really, but it's the piece that I have out in the marketplace everywhere, so that I have lots of traction in the marketplace. So people are doing events, or they're looking for strategic partners, or they can come to me knowing what they can rely on me for. So what are you best known for in the world of, let's say, self-worth, that you can really make a difference in specifically? You'll find you'll get better traction. Think of it like a super niche. Hi from Portugal! How should we balance the price of our product if we have an online shop but also a partner on a bookshop so people can see your product before buying it? How do we balance this? I'm sorry, Suzanne, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. How should you balance the price of a product if you have an online shop but also a partner on a bookshop so we can see your product before buying it? I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that. I want to answer that for you, but I actually am not sure. Maybe it's better if you just tell me what's happening in just a quick, couple lines. Okay. Holly, so glad you asked. What are the dates to my zone event? First of all, I'm super stoked about the zone event. And we're doing the reg page right now. But the zone event is September 25, 26th, and 27th in Palm Springs. And I chose Palm Springs because that time of year, it's really nice. It's a great environment for people to be able to network and get to know each other. And the theme of this zone event, because every year I have a theme. Last year it was faith. This year it's about leads, leverage, which is a hot topic, leads, leverage, and legacy. So leads, leverage, and legacy. So the zone event will be coming up. We'll be sending out information probably in the next month, if not a little bit before, with that type of information. But go ahead and just mark it off on your calendar. September 25, 26, 27, and registration will be on the 24th, which is a Sunday. So me and my team will be there having some fun. And we have lots of like parties and networking groups and things like that happening around the event this year, so it's really going to be quite fun. How do you make money while doing list power in order to pay for the things involved, limited income and starting a business with no clients? So, Megs, that's a great question. So, Megs, people ask me this all the time, like, how do you make money while you're building like your audience and your email list? And here's, we just actually had this conversation on a staff meeting call on Monday, yesterday. And, I know that you can get yourself in dire straits where you need to make money now and you're on limited income. However, if you never found, let's say, List Power or our Pace Club, and you never found us, you would still be dealing with that conversation. And what we've learned is that, I could teach you how to sell to the list right away, but it's the thing is that, it's so important for you to get safe with being unsafe. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, I belong to a group called the Genius Network, and there's a guy in the Genius Network that, I mean, he does a couple $1,000,000 a month, and he has the type of business that if a main client doesn't pay or is late in paying, the cash flow goes like in like just a few hours. And he could go from being like, he was saying at the last meeting, I'm the richest poor man you'll ever know. You know what I mean? And that's because he was in a situation where one of his clients was delaying on their payment to him. And he's got so much outlay in cash on a daily basis to be able to run this company. So my point is that when I was sitting with him, he was literally sitting with his like feet up on the desk, and you'd never know there was a problem going on. You'd never know there was a money issue. You might not think that that's relevant to your situation because he makes a couple $1,000,000 a month, and I get it. I get the thought process of not getting that. But what you don't understand is that he has a further way to fall. Like, no matter whether or not you make millions of dollars a month or you make like $60 a month, the same stress can hit you when you're short of money or when you're in a cash crunch. However, if you can become the person who gets good with that, like feeling safe in the moment of being unsafe, you actually will coast through that moment much better. So I actually recommend you go borrow money. If you need to go get a part-time job to pay for things while you're building, then think of that as like a business loan and just do it, right? You have to do whatever it takes. What I did personally is I downloaded a note online called a promissory note, and I literally called random people I actually got it from I borrowed $5,000 and I gave this guy like 30% interest on his money, which is insane. No wonder why he jumped on it. And he was an acquaintance. I met him in a house that I showed when I was a real estate agent. He was a police officer, and he tried to take me out once. And I sent him a text message and I said, "Hey, I'm doing some business growth in my company, and I'm looking to bridge the gap financially on some things, and I'm offering an investment that I'll guarantee your money back in 12 months, 30% on your money, and the investment fee is $5,000. Would you be interested in getting 30% on your money?" And his response was, "Heck yeah." Right? And so within, a couple days, I had gotten that money from a complete stranger. So I'm not saying you should do that, but, for me, even though I didn't know how to do a promissory note, I didn't know if I would succeed in business, I needed to bridge the gap to be able to pay for my mortgage and things like that when I was building. So, you just do whatever it takes. You just do whatever it takes in moments like that. But it's about developing that mindset in the moment that you're safe in unsafety. And that will pay dividends for you, because I just don't think that you have a limit when you think like that. When you can walk through the fire and be able to be comfortable in the moments of being uncomfortable, you will just show up so differently in your life and your business. You'll let go of the need to be right. You'll just surrender to the circumstances and still walk through it and create new possibilities, if that makes any sense. So I hope that helps, Meg. Okay, I know there's a few more questions, but I think what I'm going to do is just stop there. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. So here's what I will say. Tomorrow I'm going to jump onto Facebook Live at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so if there's something that you want me to cover tomorrow, just go ahead right now and post it in the comment section, but be as specific as possible. So if you say, Jen, I want you to cover pricing and packaging. Well, that's random and really broad, right? So give me a little bit more detail. Like, I'd like you to cover pricing and packaging. Here's my specific question, right? And if you could do that for me in the comments thread, my goal here is not to make offers, not to do anything other than to just give back, create more engagement in the business community so that people are getting ahead quicker, get to know you better. Of course, if you want to come to the Zone event, that would be amazing. I would love to serve you in a deeper way. But at the end of the day, it's really about me being able to give back to you so that you can scale your company. So we are working very hard in my company right now to have me work off of really just my unique ability, which is focusing on one thing inside the company, which is doing more of these Facebook Lives, which is doing more coaching, which is doing more service-based things while the company does the things that they do best, which is manage the company, manage the trainers, manage the coaches, manage the marketing, manage the funnels, and what I do is do what I do best, which is coaching and giving. So you're going to see more of this coming from us because that is our commitment as a company, that we are in the area that God put us most in, meaning that gave us the most talents in. So if I can help you, that just fills me up. So with that being said, you guys, God bless. I hope that this was worthwhile for you getting up early. And if you're in places like Portugal or Australia, or I'm just seeing a lot of really cool places in the world, and it's not early in the morning, thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us. I promise to make this as valuable as possible every morning, and just leave me a note about what you'd like me to talk about tomorrow, and I'll get into some more detail. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys.